WWE and TKO are the greediest, worst company in the planet. On the planet. In the planet. For the
On the
planet. Of
planet.
the planet. On the planet. And they are awful. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 40. And we are here today to talk about a couple of things. The big new deal going on with ESPN and the WWE. And we're also going to, I know we're a bit late to the party here, but we're also going to break down Monday Night Raw for you as well. Give our thoughts and opinions on the start of the new season of after SummerSlam, where it seems like while some things got reset, some things stayed the same. So with that, I am Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, as we've heard today, there's a big $1.6 billion deal to have all PLEs starting in 2026 be part of the ESPN streaming service. And it looks like the Peacock deal will end at the end of the year. And instead of paying whatever you pay for Peacock, which I think I pay $12.99, you will now have to pay $29.99 to watch WWE PLEs unless you decide to go the Netflix VPN route, and watch them out of Canada or something like that.
So I'm real curious to see because I was reading some things about being able to watch it for free, not the VPN route. Apparently there's certain other programs that give access to ESPN Plus. If you have like Hulu Plus or some of the other things.
You can like
Um,
bundle the Disney package, I know, but I don't really know how that
the
works.
the bigger thing that I'm curious about is I work for a certain cable company and they include a lot of their apps as part of your cable bundles. So like the Disney Plus you get for free. I believe ESPN Plus is actually one of the ones that's included as part of some of the packages. So I'm curious if I'm going to be able to access these PLEs through that, or if it's going to require like a special version of the ESPN Plus app. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't really say much of the regarding the specifics. It just said that it's going to head to ESPN in ESPN streaming service. ESPN will launch a streaming service on August 21st with a $29.99 per month price point and will keep the linear network's name ESPN. I don't know what
That
that
seems
means.
like such a high doubt like price point. Like that's
What
higher
else?
than any it's higher than
Yeah.
any of the other streaming services. Like I think I pay $15 a month for my commercial free Netflix. $30 a month seems crazy to me.
Like, and what am I getting for $30 a month? Because if it's just WWE PLEs, no. Like, I
Right.
mean, it better be every single UFC fight. It better be every single Monday Night Football because you have to have regular cable for that. I mean, there better be a damn lot of things on there for it to be worth it because otherwise, absolutely not. $30 a month is outrageous to pay for what, 10 WWE PLEs a year?
Right.
That,
And like
that's insane.
look at WWE's fan base. I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype anybody, but $30 a month is a lot of money for a lot of people, especially when you add it on top of everything else that people are paying for nowadays.
One, you still have to pay for Netflix too if you want to watch Monday Night Raw, and you still have to have either cable or Netflix and a VPN to watch SmackDown.
Yeah,
Because SmackDown in the United States is on the USA Network. So like if you want to do everything the legit non-VPN way, if you want to do everything WWE wants you to do, you have to pay at a minimum $9.99 for Netflix with commercials. Then you have to have a TV provider of some kind. I think the cheapest route you can go is probably Sling, which is like you can get an introductory package for like $20 a month. And then now this ESPN Plus thing. So $60 a month to watch WWE.
when is SmackDown done on USA?
Not for a while.
Does it have a while?
I think so. They just re-signed a deal with them, so they'll be there for a while.
Because I have to imagine at some point, if the Netflix deal is considered a success, that SmackDown probably makes the jump as well.
It's a massive success. I mean, their household reach has gone up substantially. The obviously they don't do cable, like they don't nobody talks about viewership anymore, but I mean they're reaching millions and millions of viewers, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million viewers for some of these things is what I've been reading, which is, I mean, attitude era level of viewership. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, really.
It's what happens when you can stream, when people don't have to watch it at a set time. I
Yep.
mean, you have kids who have school the next day who can now watch it when they get home from school instead of having to stay up.
Yep.
Like, especially when these shows are going 2.5 hours. I mean, yeah, they're not 3 hours anymore, but a lot of the times they're still going 2.5, 2:45.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit, dude, I stay up until about 9-ish, 9:30, and I watch the rest of it the next day.
I know I watch it, then go all the way through because I know I'm messaging you guys and you're not responding, so I figure you're not watching anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what? And like, I get it. I get the business move, but like, at what point, and maybe we need to have a larger conversation on this when we have tea around as well. But like, at what point, like anything else, is it going to start to drive people out, right? Because, like we mentioned, almost $60 a month in cost to just watch their product every month. And that doesn't include like if you want to go to the live shows, which we've talked
That's
about for a while, is absolutely outrageous. The cost to go to SummerSlam, we were talking about some of those tickets, like front row seats to SummerSlam being $25,000. Like
they're all
what are we doing?
they're already pricing the average family out of being able to go to one of these, and pretty soon TKO is going to price people out of being able to watch these.
Yeah.
And it's like you would think that they would have somebody on their business side who realizes this and who's like crunches the numbers and sees this and before they start losing viewers, because once they start losing viewers and they try to blame it on like the superstars, that's a problem.
Well, it's what the thing is though. It's they've got all this money is guaranteed. So like what do they care? What do they care? I mean, they're gonna get a 10-year deal with ESPN for $1.6 billion. Like, like what do they care? They're gonna get that money
Yeah.
regardless. It's all streaming now. I mean, they're still doing way more numbers than they did when Raw was on the USA network. It's like it's apples and oranges.
The almighty dollar.
Yeah. It's the same thing with everything. Everywhere you go now, everything's more expensive. And this is not a political podcast, but I mean, it's just they're chasing money just like everything else. And I really worry that eventually, they're gonna price people out. And it so infrequently comes here. I mean, the last time you and I went to a Monday Night Raw, it was, what was it, like $80,
Yeah.
for not like awful seats in the upper bowl. So
Were we in
like
like the 200 level?
maybe I don't remember, but I think it was still like $80 for us to sit where we were pretty far away. And I remember
We,
looking at how much front row was and it was just a Monday Night Raw, but in Buffalo, and it was like $650 to sit
oh yeah.
like in the first 5 rows, outrageous.
Yep.
So anyway, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw opened up with a video recap package breaking down everything that happened at SmackDown. And as we found, since the show came in from the Barclays Center, as we have with that cool drone thing that they do where it flies in, I really like that. I think that that's a really cool little thing that they do to kind of scope around the entire arena. It really adds just more of like I don't want to say like a sense of realism, but it really, it's cool. It's a really cool shot to see, and it really like adds to the kind of the overall spectacle of everything.
Oh yeah.
So we had the new world heavyweight champion come down to the ring, flanked by Paul Heyman and the Bronze. And Seth talked about everything, his new group, the Vision, and how he played everybody with the injury, and how everybody kind of got sort of reintroduced, if you will. And he went on about how everybody turned his back on him, and he always has a plan B kind of ready to go. And I kind of thought, and we'll get into what happened in a minute with LA Knight coming out, but I feel like they missed an opportunity here. And what I mean by this is Rollins had made mention in his promo that he only told two people about his injury, and that was Paul Heyman and Becky Lynch, right? And I think they missed an opportunity here because of everything that's been going on with Braun Breaker claiming to be the leader of the group while Rollins has been away. They missed an opportunity for Braun Breaker to look visibly upset here.
Yeah,
And I think that that would have helped a lot for some character work.
I think they missed another opportunity too. That the when he said he told two people, it should have been this would have been a perfect opportunity for them to continue teasing another person too. Be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I told Paul Heyman, and then just not mention who the other person was that he told. I mean, they were doing it with his Plan B mentions and all that. I feel like those were 100% fourth guy teases, but I think they had an opportunity there to tease it with that as well. And you're 100% right though. The with the way Braun had been acting with Seth gone and not being told that Seth wasn't actually injured, there was 100% an opportunity for him to be pissed off and be like, "Why? I'm supposed to be your number two guy. Why would you not let me in on this?"
Right.
I get not telling Bronson because he's like just got the mentality of a bathtub, but uh, I think that Braun 100% had an opportunity, and I gotta say I really love the new nickname for Bronson Reed of the Tribal Thief.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So LA Knight's music hits, then he makes his way down to the ring. Knight congratulates Rollins, Heyman, Breaker, and Reed and says that he's not in the ring for a fight initially, but is there just to kind of ask some questions. And Knight says, why did Rollins have to fake his injury when he got it to get him out of his Saturday night's main event loss tonight? And Knight said that, well, he was kind of enjoying his vacation. Knight was the last one to beat him. And Knight should be the first one in line for a world heavyweight championship opportunity, which he declared should be tonight. Rollins, in typical heel fashion, was like, New York, should we have a title match? Blah 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 blah. And then he's like, no. Made his way down the entrance ramp, to which Adam Pearce appeared and said, given the way you've acted, given the way you lied to WWE medical personnel, there will be a World Heavyweight Championship match, and it will be the main event of our show this evening. So I thought this was a fine opening segment. I like that Adam Pearce, kind of got into his face a little bit. And, overall, solid way to start out the show and kind of start to move things forward a bit from SummerSlam. And we'll get into let's get into the main event right after this. But what did you feel about the opening segment?
They did a real good job of reintroducing everybody for the new, basically start of the new half season leading up to WrestleMania and Survivor Series and all that. But I got to give Adam Pearce A+ credit for Monday night. He did real well in all of his segments, like confronting everybody and just throwing together these random matches. And the way he did it, he actually came across as a halfway decent authority figure for once. It wasn't like he was getting bullied around like he normally is. And I think that this promo was indicative of what we're going to see through most of this title reign, especially as they introduce the new players and everything. And with LA Knight being the first person out, I know we talked about it in our text chat where this should have been a PLE match, and I'm
It might
glad
still
that
be in the way it went down,
I
but
think it will. I mean, you and I figured it out the other day that there's five PLEs, and there's basically five people that Seth can defend against. So I think that it still will be, and I think that they have the opportunity to do good things with these matches.
yeah, so let's just get right into the main event because it was kind of the driving point of the whole show, right? So the match started off with LA Knight, hitting some punches in the corner right away on Rollins. Then, Rollins kind of get him back a little bit. It started off slow, and I nailed him with a clothesline and hit him with a really nice suplex, which I really, really liked. LA Knight has definitely improved quite a bit in the ring, and I'm, very kind of pleased to see that. Knight got him outside of the ring, a couple near pinfalls. Rollins hit him with a really nice kick, went up for the pedigree, but Knight hit him over with a back body drop, which I thought was really nice as well. Knight got him for a couple of near falls, hit him with a really nice Russian leg sweep, which was excellent. You know, got him on the outside. Knight tossed him over the announce desk to, they kind of rolled back in the ring to break the count. Then, the match kind of got into its final gear. Rollins went to pull the mat over by the announce table up, and he was looked like he was going to try and do a DDT or something like that onto Knight, like onto the exposed concrete. When out of nowhere came CM Punk to kind of blast Seth Rollins, and this obviously caused the disqualification, which pissed off LA Knight. And he kind of got into CM Punk's face a little bit, like, why did you do this? You cost me the match, blah, blah, blah. This had, of course, the Bronze come out, and just a melee ensued, and they beat down CM Punk and they beat down LA Knight, and Rollins blindsided him with the curb stomp, and that was the way it was going to go off the air as the heels made their way up the entrance ramp, and then boom, 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 the OTC makes his appearance again. He makes his way into the ring and attempts to start fighting back, but again the heels find their way to stand tall, and Big Bronson Reed hits several tsunamis on Roman Reigns, and the heels stand tall to close out the show, which I think, again, because this has been a kind of a common occurrence now, is going to write Roman Reigns off of TV for probably a while as he goes to film Street Fighter.
So I think that when Rollins pulled up to expose the concrete, I think that he was going to go for a stomp, which probably would have killed LA Knight. But the match itself was good for the way we knew it was going to have to end. We knew that it was going to be a DQ of some sort. I honestly thought that the Browns were going to end up interfering regardless. I
Yeah.
didn't expect to see CM Punk as soon as we did after SummerSlam. I thought we might get a week without him, but it's glad to see that he's back and he's still raring to go. I think that LA Knight had the best reaction there with being pissed off at Punk for causing the DQ. And I think that it was awesome the way that when Reigns was in the ring, Rollins came out of nowhere to hit that curb stomp. Like he literally all of a sudden came flying in from off screen to curb stomp Reigns. I was not expecting that. And the three tsunamis 100% are writing Reigns off TV. That way he can go film his role as Akuma, I believe, which that'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see him with red hair. But
Yeah.
and we had the tribal thief leave with another pair of sneakers.
That's so funny. That's so stupid.
He's gonna have a whole closet full of those Jordans by the time he's done.
Oh my God. So yes, that was the main event segment, and that's obviously what let it off the air. Going back, kind of going back to the start of the show, after Rollins and his group went out, we had a backstage segment with the Judgment Day, and Finn Balor and all those guys basically were like, Dom, we never doubted you, and he also kind of asked Raquel and I was gonna say Liv, Roxanne, how they were holding up, and then talked about kind of regrouping. And AJ was there, obviously, basically telling Dom that, like, look, I know you cheated, and I'm still coming for you. And it eventually led to our first match of the show, which was Rusev versus Sheamus. And again, this was just their third match, and it was obviously a really hard hitting match, like all of them had been. They kind of brawled around, they hit all their big moves on one another. Sheamus went for a 10 beats of the Bowery on the outside. Rusev reversed it around, which actually ended up leading to a double countout, which I kind of hated. But I just kind of feel like this is, they need to, this match maybe should make it onto the Paris show
I think
and
so.
be inside of like a steel cage or something like that.
I don't know if a steel cage is the right idea, especially with having just done one.
Or
This
maybe
Matt, this is
an
it's
Extreme Rules kind of match.
it's definitely leading to some sort of stipulation. I'm thinking probably a last man standing, where the last one to be able to, if you did not be able to answer the 10 count, I could see that being the perfect way to end this feud, especially with the way they were, or a falls count anywhere match, with the way they were brawling all over the arena afterwards, like throughout the night. I mean, we saw them like 4 or 5 times fighting throughout the locker room and everything, and so it's definitely leading to I have to imagine Paris. I can't imagine that this will be drawn out all the way to Australia. But I
Yeah, the Australia show's not until October, right?
Yeah, so we go all of September basically without a PLE. So I feel like this program has to end in Paris, and I think
Yeah.
it'll be hard hitting, just like these matches themselves have been. I mean, if you enjoy matches that aren't super technical, that are just two big guys beating the shit out of each other, that's what you got with these.
Yeah, absolutely. We then obviously saw that the New Day were still kind of in mourning, and Xavier Woods had a very odd hat. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was like a giant all the way around. It had the little like dangly things on it. It was really interesting looking. It really looked like they were kind of like a funeral, almost like a part of a funeral mourning group. It was really, really well done by them. And they were approached by Grayson Waller, and Grayson Waller was kind of like, "Yo, guys, where were you last week?" Blah blah blah, and this obviously led to Grayson Waller being put into a match with Penta, and they went. That was obviously basically what happened next, and they made their way to the ring, and this was a fine match. It was mostly helped by the New Day being on the commentary, giving Michael Cole a hard time, but I mean, every match that Penta has is excellent, and Penta just won, kind of straight up with the Mexican Destroyer as he does. And then the New Day kind of tried to get in his face. Penta shoved them both down, tossed it, Kofi Kingston out of the ring, and then took his hat and kind of did his little dance. And it was solid. I enjoyed it. It was just kind of fun, and it's really all sort of all it needed to be.
I I mean, I'm glad that we got to see Penta on TV again. It's been a few weeks since we've seen him. I know that he was in Mexico for a little while doing some AAA stuff. I think that Grayson Waller was a good opponent for him. Grayson can definitely go in the ring, and I'm glad this match wasn't a straight up squash. I'm very curious though, are they setting up something for Penta to go against the New Day, like some sort of feud here? Because I'm not sure why they would set up something tag team related when his brother's already in a tag team.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It
mean,
definitely feels like it, right?
yeah, it just seems like they don't really have anything for him to do right now. And I still would very much like for him to be in the IC title picture, but I don't know. Like I feel like he would be the perfect IC champion. If you're not going to put it on Styles, like he's the next one that I would go to.
Yeah.
Um, so then we had, Naomi in a backstage conversation, and she was, hemming and hawing about, the situation that she was in, and basically made it so she ended up getting herself booked into a match next week with Io Sky, which I don't know how I feel about that because I would assume Io is either going to lose or there's going to be some shenanigans with Stephanie Becker coming out because it's been confirmed that Stephanie is her opponent for the Paris show, which we're still kind of the mind that that's likely where she's going to lose the title. But should be interesting, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really want Naomi to have to go through Io and then to go through Rhea, but and then just lose the title to Stephanie. But I don't know. What do you think about all that?
First off, it's not Stephanie Vaquer, it's Stephanie Velcro. But the I can't imagine that. I mean, unless you want Naomi to look strong going into Paris, and I mean, do you have her win clean over Io? Or like, I mean, like as clean as she can win, like maybe through a surprise roll up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
That way she's looking strong going into Paris, and that it's less likely that Stephanie is going to beat her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It seems so apparent to me that Stephanie is going to win that match. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could be way off and I don't know. But
If you are, I'm right there with you because I feel like with the rocket they have attached to Stephanie and the way that they're pushing her, I have a hard time seeing them not have her go over Naomi there.
yeah, completely agree. So we had kind of the standard WWE trope where, again, during the middle of the show, they break down what happened at the PLE the night before, where, they again went through the Brock Lesnar thing and made mention that John Cena will be on SmackDown on Friday to talk about everything, what he's going to do going forward, which will very likely be a match with Brock Lesnar. And then again, another standard WWE trope of having the tag team that just won the tag team belt face the people they just beat for the tag team belt. So we had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss with their newly minted women's tag team championships face Raquel and Roxanne again. And honestly, this match was much worse than their SummerSlam match. It didn't go very long, and Alexa hit the Sister Abigail for the win on Roxanne, and everybody got in the ring, everybody got a chance to do their moves, but nothing really special about this match. I had no doubt that Flair and Bliss were going to win, and I think they're gonna hold on to these titles for a while.
Care more about the promo beforehand and how well Charlotte and Alexa did. I think it was funny that they were trying to finish each other's sentences and weren't able to do it. But I really like this program where they're actually growing to be like real friends, and I think it's going to make it way more interesting when one of them turns on the other one and make for a better feud down the road with that. I don't think the match though was that bad. You're right though, it wasn't as good as the one on SummerSlam, which honestly I'm fine with. The one on SummerSlam was a PLE. That's supposed to be where your 5-star matches are. This one was all right. It got the job done. And of course we had the right ending. We didn't have them randomly drop the title back to the Judgment Day.
I agree. We then head to the back where Io Sky is talking with the Kabuki Warriors, and then Io says something odd. I think thanks, but no thanks, which was a little weird. And then Rhea walked up, and Io basically was like, Rhea, you're great and all, but you're still never going to beat me. And Rhea just kind of smirked at her. And this led to the Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio making his way down to the ring for the next match of the night. And then we also obviously saw Bayley and Lyra get into a little bit of an altercation as well, which may lead to some stuff down the road there. But I'm kind of still of the mind that Bayley is the most likely person now to be taking that title off of Becky.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there was obviously another program that was sort of teased or later on in the night, but I think that's the smart play is to have Bayley take it off of her and then
Mhm.
probably down the road lose it back to Lyra, especially because Bayley is still playing a face type character.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we had a non-title match between Dirty Dom and the LWO's Dragon Lee. Uh, Dragon Lee, well, I get that he is kind of a perennial jobber at this point. Man, Dragon Lee is fun to watch. He's a
Yeah.
really, really good wrestler. He moves around great. He kind of reminds me of like a Timu Ray Phoenix a little bit. And he's just super good in the ring. He does, he's able to do all of the moves. And this match was a lot of fun. And obviously, as is with everything else, this match was interjected by not one, but to a third El Grande Americano. I guess we're just going to kind of go ahead and continue this storyline. But what did you think of the match? And obviously, another member being added to the El Grande Americano stable.
I Before I get to my opinion on Los Grandes, I think that Dragon Lee, you're right, he's incredible to watch. I wish that they would find a way to properly book the guy. Like, sorry, I keep going. I wish that they would find a great way to book him, though. The guy's got incredible talent. He is real similar to Rey Mysterio as far as like the way he moves in the ring and his move set. I mean, he's a typical luchador. And WWE has always had issues with booking like the luchadors outside of Rey Mysterio. I'm glad to see that they're doing it correctly with Penta and sort of with Phoenix. But I think Dragon Lee is another guy that they could use a little bit better. And as far as the multiple El Grandes go, I'm very curious to see where this is going. I really hope that we see a Survivor Series War Games match featuring a team of multiple El Grandes versus somebody. I don't care who it is. I think it would be absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, I really hope that there's a payoff to this story. That's kind of all I care about. Like, I don't want it to be just kind of like comedy for the sake of comedy. Like, there eventually needs to be a payoff to this story.
Exactly.
So
And I
we
mean,
then
we know who they all are, right? It's Ludwig, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate so far.
do we think it's Tyler Bate for the third one?
I think so. Based on the body shape, I think it's Tyler Bate.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Plus, he's Pete Dunne's partner.
That's true. That's true. We then head to the back where Jackie Redmond is interviewing Sami Zayn and asked how he felt about proving Karrion Kross wrong, which I know pissed you off. And Sami said it's not about proving people wrong, and he would just, he would have liked to use the pipe, then he obviously chose not to, which again really leads me to believe that Karrion Kross is just gone. Like, he's just leaving WWE. He's not going to resign. And Sheamus and Rusev, obviously, throughout the night, Sheamus and Rusev continued to just kill each other in multiple backstage segments. And WWE officials had to kind of pull those two guys apart. But let's for a second talk about Karrion Kross, because I know you had some thoughts on it with his contract, and we already kind of went into the match in great detail in our SummerSlam review. So guys, check that out if you haven't checked it out already. But let's talk about Karrion Kross and his contract for a little bit. I know you had a lot of thoughts on that.
I don't. Karrion Kross is an interesting guy. He has all the charisma in the world. He is not the greatest in the ring as far as a worker goes, but he has 100% gotten better in the ring. Like, you've seen it in several of his matches. He can put on, not, you will never get a 5-star match out of the guy, but you'll get consistent 3.5 star matches out of him. He works that physical style, but I feel like WWE has never figured out the right way to book the guy. I mean, look at the group. They tried him by himself. They tried him in a group. They just they tried him by himself again. And after WrestleMania, he started to get himself over and became one of the best merchandise sellers for WWE, which is usually one of the things that they grade people on. And to the point where he has a new book coming out. I believe it's actually out now, correct?
Yes.
That WWE actually plugged his book, I believe, during SummerSlam. And yet, allegedly, his contract is up this weekend. And this is per Fightful, what I was reading earlier. There's no talk about whether or not they're going to renew the guy. And I feel like it is a straight up missed opportunity by WWE to let Scarlett and Karrion walk. I mean, when you have a guy that is so over with the fans, and you could have done so many great things in this Sami Zayn feud, and instead you felt the need to put over your perennial underdog, who at this point it can't just be me and T who are getting sick of his shtick. Like, it's gotten old, and they had an opportunity to do something with it here, and they completely threw it away. I don't understand what Cross did to either piss the people off in the back or to make them just want to treat him this way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some truth to that story that came out about him like not wanting to take bumps.
He's been taking him in these matches against Sammy.
I mean, sort of. I mean, he hasn't taken like Sammy's a really safe kind of boring wrestler though. Like Sammy does the same. Sammy has the same sort of move set in a lot of his matches, unless it's like a hardcore match like the one he did with Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn is a very safe wrestler, does the same moves.
Right, but Cross can only work with what he's working with. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's all he's been doing lately. You know what I mean? So that makes me wonder whether there's some truth to that.
It's tough to tell.
Yeah. We then had Becky Lynch make her way down to the ring to talk about Lyra and to talk about Bayley and how that she's physically fine and she's the greatest female wrestler of all time. To which she was interrupted by Nikki Bella. And I gotta say, where was this Nikki Bella 10 years ago? This
Yep.
was the best promo I have ever heard out of her. She railed Becky Lynch. It was fantastic. I mean, talked about her marriage, talked about her insecurities, talked about how her husband's a liar. Lynch hit her back with a couple of zingers, talking about how she got cut from the Happy Gilmore movie and about her relationship with John Cena and how you can't see either one of them, and stuff like that. And there were a couple of nice zingers there, but Nikki Bella was the star, and I can't believe I'm saying this in 2025. She was the star of this segment, and I am excited for the match that they're going to have.
You hit the nail right on the head. I said it in our group chat when you guys weren't watching. This promo from Nikki Bella was, I think, the best thing that she has ever done. And she was with WWE forever. And I have no idea where this came from. Like, I don't know if somebody wrote this for her or if she just finally had this all in her, but I was astounded by this promo. The zingers were funny, the insults were great, and I've never been more excited for a Nikki Bella match than I
I
am
know.
for this eventual Becky versus Nikki, probably in Paris.
Yeah, probably.
And it was just, I like you said, in 2025, like I know T loves the crap on Nikki being back, like and oh well, why is she back? You give me this Nikki Bella every week, I will be happy she's back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then this obviously led us into the main event, which we already discussed. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw, and it was fine. It felt like a soft reset that we kind of needed. We're moving some feuds in some different directions. Got a lot of people in and around the main event scene, and we obviously made note that all of our big players on the other side are going to be well, let's take a step back. All of our big players on Raw are involved in things, and all of our big players on SmackDown are going to be on SmackDown on Friday. Lesnar, Cena, Cody, everybody's going to make an appearance. Everybody's going to have, start setting things up for the future. So I think, like I said, this is the soft reset that WWE needed, and we can maybe move our players on to better things here. I'm really curious to see who's going to step up to Cody. I'm very curious to see Cena's response to Lesnar, and I'm very curious to hear what they have Lesnar say if he even shows up.
Let's not forget too that during Monday Night Raw, they also wrote Gunther off TV for a little while.
Oh yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
have a surgery. That's right.
They mentioned that he had some sort of facial like orbital bone injury, which I'm guessing probably isn't real. That's probably just to give him some time off. It didn't look like he was actually truly injured from that match. And I mean, if anybody has some well-earned time off coming, it's Gunther. I mean, he held that even while Jay was sort of while holding the title, Gunther still carried a lot of the weight there. And I know I will be looking forward to him coming back. Hopefully, it'll be right after Cena beats Brock, and we can get that long rumored Gunther Brock match.
Yeah, I hope so too. So that was our episode, guys. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And we've got a Bills game this weekend coming up. We will be talking about it. Preseason is alive and real. And the football season is coming in hot and heavy. So we're gonna have a ton of NFL content for you guys, as well as our weekly stuff leading up to the Clash in Paris at the end of the month. I will be taking a bit of a hiatus for the next 2 weeks, so Sean and T will be bringing things to you guys. And thanks so much for subscribing. Thanks for interacting with us. We really, really appreciate it. Have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.